Karen, Hope, thank you so much for joining us, two fine goalkeepers. Just if you don't mind starting us off by telling us about your earliest memories of football and what inspired you to get involved in the sport.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, my earliest memories. I mean, I played the sport since I was 5 years old. My dad was my first coach, and I just was a goal scorer. I was a great athlete. I ran the field up and down. I hated being a goalkeeper. I actually didn't become a goalkeeper until I was 18. But I just loved the sport. Continued to play.
I started playing when I was about 5, and I actually grew up in the States, so kind of didn't really think my dad would let me play football when I was growing up, but we found AYSO and all that. So I played, just through that organization. And I was the same. I just hated being stuck in goal, and I didn't start playing in goal until I was about, 10. But I was just so much better at it. I guess it found me. So yeah.
I didn't want to be a goalkeeper. I remember being on an airplane one time, traveling to a game, and somebody had asked, who's the goalkeeper on your team? And I remember not wanting to raise my hand because I was actually ashamed of being a goalkeeper. And I didn't find respect for the position. I didn't find my love for the position until pretty much the end of my college years, so maybe around 20, 21 years old. And, it took a lot because a lot of people don't know the intricacies in goalkeeping.
Yeah.
So it's hard as a younger kid to have respect for the position. Now I'm a full-time goalkeeper. I love every aspect of it, and I take pride in being a goalkeeper.
What does it take to be a good or a great goalkeeper?
I think it takes a lot of variables, really, that kind of have to fall into place. I think you have to have the right mindset, the right mentality. Everyone has to, says you have to have a little bit of a screw loose, don't you? But I guess that's open to opinion. For me, I think you just kind of have to be brave. You have to be willing to put it all out there. Willing to make mistakes. Take kind of criticism, but just the overall underlying. You can't be afraid to fail, and you have to be brave and just deal with what comes,
Oh. It's a tough position. You can't win the game, but you can save the game. You kind of have to, it takes a mindset, a particular mindset, but I think it takes patience because you can't go out there and win the game. You have to wait for the game to come to you. And I think that patience comes with the more games you play, and it comes with maturity. But I think with the evolution of the game, and especially in the women's game, it's so important for goalkeepers to be good at everything. Yeah. Crosses, 1v1s, also their ability to play with their feet. I think it's not just one thing anymore. It's not shot stopping. It's not being brave.
It's well-rounded, yeah.
It's a number of different things that I think makes a goalkeeper great.
Well, you've both been involved in the sport for a number of years. How have you seen it grow since you started playing at a young age?
It's pretty incredible being an American player, especially because we are the front runners in terms of being able to make a living playing women's professional soccer. And as an American player, I take pride in that because I hope to eventually see the rest of the world start to be able to make a living with their women's teams as well. So we're in a good place, but it's going to continue to grow. We're not getting the fan base that I want to be getting at our professional team games, our national team games. We do much better in terms of attendance, but it's the year-round games that we really need to create a better fan base. We have the fan base for Olympics, we have the fan base for World Cups, but it's the everyday games that we really need the support and the help with.
In terms of the domestic leagues, I think it's just the coverage. Coverage needs to be better. We've got BBC on board and a few different companies on board that are helping promote the game now, but it still needs the coverage needs to increase, and just kind of getting more girls playing at a younger age is really going to help. So we've got loads of girls doing appearances at grassroots levels and trying to get people interested in the game sooner. But clubs like City are doing a really good job of making it more of a professional environment, giving younger players something to aspire to in terms of, hey, maybe I can make it as a professional footballer, where that's been established in the States and you can make a living where I don't think a lot of people actually know that that is available to them. In the States, it's very normal for women to play, girls to play at a young age, and it's very much accepted, where even supported, where people are, very positive about women playing sports, and it's encouraged. Whereas we've met a lot of barriers from the outside, saying women shouldn't be playing sports, shouldn't be in football. We got loads of stuff during like the Olympics and sometimes during the World Cup about you belong in the kitchen and stuff, and that's going like way. You just think that type of thinking, that type of mentality is gone, but you end up seeing things like that, and it's kind of shocking a little bit, So if we can get people to accept what we're trying to do and just accept that we're just footballers, not women playing football, then I think we could go a bit further. So it's just getting people to accept what we're trying to do.
It's interesting. I'm humbled, but I'm also frustrated because, in a country like England where football is the sport, it should be more accepted that women play football.
I agree.
And it is incredible to see, a big club like Man City get behind women's football and really embrace it and really, try to grow it in a good way, not just, I'm going to do this on the side because it looks good for the fans. They're really putting in the money, putting in the stadium, getting great players and trying to get the fans behind it. So, it's a great starting point, and you have to start somewhere, but it is unfortunate that we're so behind in the times.
Karen mentioned role models, and you both have paved your own way. You are role models in the women's game. How do you feel about that, and is there a responsibility that comes with that?
Yeah, of course. I went out over here to one of the facilities, and I was talking to some of the high school girls that were playing, and I hate to mention this, but I asked them, I was like, who's your favorite English national team player on the women's team? And they couldn't name one player, and it saddened me a little bit because, they had a great performance in the Olympics.
Yep.
The whole country was behind them in the Olympics. But then you have probably 11, 12-year-old girls who can't name one player on the women's national team.
Yeah.
And that would never happen in the States. So I want young girls to have a role model to look up to. It saddened me when they didn't. And I think it's all of our responsibilities to make sure that these young girls do have role models. So I take that responsibility that I have in the States very seriously. I know that young girls look up to me, and I want to allow them to continue to go for their dreams. They can literally say, when I grow up, I want to be a professional women's soccer player, because it does exist.